What if the insults they throw at you are actually your best source of strength? Every harsh word, every passive-aggressive gesture, every attempt to undermine you, what if none of it was ever meant to break you, but instead to shape you? There's a silent power in refusing to respond the way they expect. That's where transformation begins. You don't need to retaliate with louder words. You don't need to explain yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Their negativity was never your responsibility, but how you respond to it is entirely your power. When someone attacks you with criticism or disrespect, their goal is to provoke a reaction, to gain control of your emotional state. But if you hold your ground in silence with clarity and poise, you flip the game. You starve their need for power and feed your own growth. You can't stop people from throwing shadows, but you can stand still and let the sun behind you cast those shadows into the ground. This isn't passivity, it's command. It's not weakness, it's the highest form of strength, controlled, aware, deliberate. In this video, we explore how to weaponize what was meant to harm you, not by becoming colder, but by becoming clearer. Because once you understand that attacks are never personal, but projections, you stop absorbing them and start converting them. Let the hits come. Let the noise rise. You don't have to flinch. You don't have to fight. Just absorb the impact, then reforge it into something unshakable. Your next move, your next boundary, your next evolution. Every time they criticize you, they reveal what threatens them. Every insult is a mirror. They don't reflect you. They reflect fear, envy, or insecurity they're trying to project. And if you learn to see that, you stop reacting and start redirecting. Redirecting is the art of taking in energy, any kind of energy, and deciding what to do with it. When someone comes at you with negativity, you have two choices: absorb it as pain, or convert it into precision. Turn it into intention. Make it your tool. That's how real strength is built, not by avoiding conflict, but by understanding it, not by silencing others, but by becoming immune to their volume. They shout, you sharpen. They push, you pivot. That's power. When their words lose effect, their need to control you collapses. When your peace becomes unshakable, their chaos becomes irrelevant. And when your silence is louder than their aggression, you become the storm they never saw coming. But here's the truth, no one tells you. Strength doesn't come from winning arguments. It doesn't come from clapping back. It comes from walking through fire and choosing what to carry with you and what to leave behind. That's the practice. Every moment they try to provoke you is a moment you get to practice clarity. Every attack is a rep for your resilience. Every silence is a signal to yourself and to them that you've moved beyond needing validation. You're not here to prove them wrong. You're here to prove yourself right. And that shift in intention, that's where your power multiplies. Because nothing's more threatening to those who want to control you than your decision to stand still with full awareness and zero permission. They will say you've changed. They'll accuse you of being cold, distant, arrogant. But really, you're just no longer available for the roles they once cast you in. You're not playing the villain, the fool, or the puppet anymore. You've rewritten the script. And rewriting doesn't require shouting. It requires clarity, quiet clarity, the kind that doesn't ask for attention, but demands it through presence. You no longer seek to explain your every move. You simply make moves that need no explanation. The less you speak, the more they wonder. And in that wondering, their power dissolves. They don't know where you stand, and that's your advantage. Because when you stop broadcasting your every thought, you start protecting your energy. This is the paradox of power. The quieter you become, the more control you gain, not over others, over yourself. And that's the only control worth having. That's the kind that stays when the noise rises. Some people will always need to tear others down to feel tall. Let them. Your height isn't measured by their approval. It's measured by your ability to keep walking while they shout behind you. Every step you take without reacting becomes a declaration. I'm not who I used to be. I'm not shaped by what they say. I'm shaped by what I decide. Their attacks may continue, but they no longer get to define the battlefield. You do. This is how you reclaim your narrative, not with revenge, not with noise, but with unshakable direction. You don't need permission to rise, just present. If you're ready to protect your energy and rise with quiet strength, subscribe now and turn on the bell. Your next transformation begins here. They expect noise. They feed on chaos. But what happens when you offer them none of it? They start to question themselves, not you. You've become the mirror that forces them to see what they didn't want to face, not by confrontation, but by the simple act of not collapsing under their expectations. Power is not about control over people. It's about command over your emotions, over your presence. When they yell and you respond with silence, not to avoid, but to assert, you turn the tide. Because silence can't be misquoted, and clarity needs no defense. Some will try to bait you with accusations, hoping to draw you into the same battlefield. Don't go. Some will twist your silence into arrogance. Let them. The more they project, the more they reveal. Your job is not to explain. It's to observe, decide, and move on. This isn't suppression. It's strategy. You're not bottling up your emotions. You're channeling them into better outcomes. You're not avoiding conflict. You're you're mastering it so it doesn't master you. And mastery means choosing your responses instead of giving them away. It means standing in the fire without becoming the flame. It means knowing that composure is not weakness, it's weaponry, sharp, disciplined, and precise. Because in a world screaming for attention, being unshakably quiet is revolutionary. And in a world addicted to reactions, being the one who responds with intention is unstoppable. Strength isn't just about how much you can take. It's about how little you allow to shape you. The real test isn't enduring attacks, it's transforming while under them. Not hardening, not shutting down, just sharpening, quietly, intentionally. That's the way of the unshakable. They move without noise, respond without rage, and decide without doubt. They know that when the world tries to define you, silence gives you space to define yourself. And that space, that's where power lives. You don't have to answer every challenge. You don't have to clear every misunderstanding. Because the truth doesn't need volume to be valid. It simply needs time and presence. When you remain still, people reveal who they are. The louder they try to pull you out of peace, the more they show you what they've lost inside themselves. And when you stay rooted, they can't shake what they can't reach. This is your power, not as resistance, but as stillness, not as defense, but as depth. It's not a performance, it's posture, not silent because you're scared, silent because you've grown, you've stopped reacting, you've started choosing. And every time you choose stillness over chaos, you reinforce a boundary that only gets stronger with time. You don't need them to understand. You don't need them to agree. You just need to keep walking with the quiet force that says, I know who I am, and I'm not moving. What if the greatest act of strength was doing nothing at all? No defense, no justification, just presence. There's a power in letting the world talk and letting your results speak instead. The people who tried to define you with their words eventually disappear into the silence they created. And when that silence stretches on, it becomes a mirror, not for you, for them. They begin to feel the weight of their own noise, the echo of their own words bouncing back in the absence of your response. And in that silence, you grow louder, not with noise, but with clarity, not with confrontation, but with calm that commands. The version of you that doesn't explain, doesn't chase, doesn't bend. That version changes everything. That version is not a reaction, but a recalibration. You don't just win, you elevate, you evolve. Not every battle is meant to be fought. Some are meant to be walked away from, with a calm so loud they hear it long after you're gone. And those who thought they had the last word realize the last word is never spoken. It's shown in how you carry yourself. Your silence isn't emptiness, its fullness contained. It's your wisdom choosing to wait. It's your boundaries speaking without words. It's your values standing taller than the distractions trying to pull you down. It's not submission, it's strategy. It's power in its most refined form. You've been conditioned to think that silence is weakness. But the truth is, silence is what separates those who react from those who rule. It's not the absence of thought, it's the presence of mastery. So ask yourself this: when they attack, are they revealing who you are or who they are afraid you might become? And if that question struck something in you, you're already on the path. Subscribe, turn on the bell, and stay with us, because the world will always get louder. But your peace? That's where real power lives. Let's walk this road together, quietly, powerfully, intentionally.